Hey there! Welcome back to the channel that serves revenge with a smile and maybe a side of toner ink. If you've ever had an arrogant coworker who acted like they owned the office, this story is going to scratch that sweet itch for justice. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Asterisk. Let me take you back about 15 years. Fluorescent lighting, beige cubicles, coffee that tasted like burnt tires. You know the scene. I worked in a mid-sized office, typical admin-heavy place, where everyone had their routines and the unspoken rules of shared spaces. But then, there was Steve. Not his real name, obviously, but let's just say if arrogance were a cologne, Steve bathed in it. Steve had his own office, which wasn't a big deal. A few people did. But what was a big deal was the laser printer. Now, in this entire office, there were only 2 laser printers. One shared by the entire floor, on the far side of the building, and the other, tucked neatly inside Steve's private office. You might think, asterisk, okay, maybe his job required it? Asterisk, no. His role was no more technical or senior than anyone else's. But Steve insisted he needed his own printer for productivity reasons. And here's the thing. If anyone, anyone asterisk, dared to send a print job to his printer by mistake, it was World War III. He'd stomp out of his office, waving your document like it was contraband, red in the face, spouting off about respecting boundaries, and asterisk, interrupting his workflow. Asterisk. No one liked Steve. That's not an exaggeration. He was the kind of guy who corrected your grammar in casual conversation and microwaved fish for lunch. But the printer was his holy grail. For months, we all tiptoed around this unspoken rule. Asterisk asterisk, don't touch Steve's printer asterisk asterisk. Until one afternoon, everything changed. I was doing a paper drop-off, refilling reams across the floor. I stepped into Steve's office while he was in a meeting and dropped off a pack next to his printer. And that's when I saw it. Sitting right there, plain as day on top of the output tray, an eBay shipping label. At first I thought, asterisk, weird, asterisk. But then another one caught my eye. And another. Tucked beneath a stack of regular reports were multiple eBay shipping labels. And suddenly, it all clicked. Steve wasn't using the printer for work. He was using company equipment to run his personal eBay business on the side. Labels, invoices, shipping manifests, all printed with company toner, on company paper, using company time. And just like that, the moral scales in my mind tipped. He wasn't just annoying. He was a leech. Now, I could have gone to HR, filed a formal complaint. But honestly, that would have been boring. And frankly, I wanted to hit him where it hurt. In his ego and his shipping scores. So here's what I did. While he was still in that meeting, I slipped one of his printed shipping labels off the top of the stack. Carefully. I didn't take the original. I made a quick photocopy on the communal copier, then slid the original back like nothing ever happened. One blank box. One cheap set of pens I had lying around. One perfectly copied shipping label. I boxed it up, slapped the duplicate label on it, and took it straight to the post office that afternoon. And just like that, my package was now heading to Steve's eBay customer. The original label, still sitting on Steve's desk, waiting for him to slap it onto his own package, completely unaware. Here's the genius part. Because shipping labels are scanned only once for that tracking number, when he used his original label later that day, the system flagged it as a duplicate. That meant his package was returned to sender, and he had to pay again to ship it out properly. And worse, the delay meant his customer got their item late. And if you've ever sold anything on eBay, you know what that means. Bad feedback, shipping dings, and a nasty little mark on your seller rating. Asterisk asterisk. But did Steve say a word? Not a peep. Because remember, he was doing this behind the company's back. Reporting it would mean admitting he was using office resources to run his little eBay empire. I sat there the next day watching him quietly stress out at his desk, jaw clenched, typing furiously, and me, just sipping coffee, like a villain in the shadows. Now, I didn't do this just once. Over the next 6 months, I repeated the stunt 3 more times. Always careful. Always when he was out or in meetings. Always just enough to confuse him, but not enough to raise suspicion. I'd see him staring at his screen, reprinting labels, checking tracking info, probably wondering how the hell his shipping labels were getting used before he even touched them. Was the post office messing up? Was eBay glitching? Was he losing his mind? No, it was just me, the quiet guy refilling the paper trays. And every time he had to eat the cost of reshipping, every time a package arrived late, every time that seller rating dipped lower, I smiled, because there's something so satisfying about quiet revenge. No yelling, no drama, just subtle, psychological chaos, served warm and anonymous. The last time I did it, I used the label to send a small gift to myself, a pack of novelty stress balls. Seemed fitting. Steve was in a foul mood for a week. Pacing, snapping at people, probably wondering if he had a stalker. Maybe he thought he was cursed. But he never once confronted anyone. Because he couldn't. All that bluster, all that entitlement, neutralized by the one thing he valued most. His precious little side hustle. And I never touched his printer again. Didn't need to. Sometimes justice doesn't need a courtroom. Just a copier, a cardboard box, and a well-timed stroll to the post office. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's just a subtle reminder that no one, not even printer tyrants, are above the rules. If this story made you chuckle or cheer, hit that like button and tell us in the comments. What's the pettiest office revenge you've ever witnessed? And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove karma has a perfect memory.